Hey, my name's Izzy. This is Rolling Virtual Cards coming at you live with another MTG video. I'm just going to be talking about more of the cards that have been released the last few days. Wasn't able to record about yesterday. I did Tuesdays when they first started doing the pre-release or the previews. I missed Wednesdays, so this is going to be like Wednesdays and the rest of Thursdays. This was right after Poison Dart Frog. So we've got Ultic Cloud Guard. Words in English are hard, guys. Hope you know that. Next to Magic. Hard. 3 and a white for a 3/2 human soldier with flying. When Ultic Cloud Guard enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 colorless gnome artifact creature token. Now, we're making gnomes. It's not a good card. It's weak. I'd probably run it in, I might pick it up in a white variant deck in pre-release or draft. 4 for a 3/2 with flying is like, that gives you a 1/1 body. That's also an artifact in this. That's probably really good in draft. I don't think I'd use it anywhere else. I mean, even in EDH in a token jet deck, maybe a token artifact deck, but I'm very hesitant there. Thrashing Brontodon. Nice art there, guys. I love that. So, this is just a reprint. This is coming to standard. I love this in standard. Such a great card. 1 and 2 green for a 3/4 dinosaur. Pay 1, sacrifice it, destroy target artifact or enchantment. 3 for a 3/4 is already great. That's already nice stats. And the ability to sack it in order to pop a problematic artifact or enchantment is good. It's definitely seen play in before. If you go to MTG Top 8, like if you go to Standard, all Grand Prix. Do they not have a... Oh, no, that's what I gotta do. Yeah, you gotta search it, unfortunately. I was just checking that out. That usually gives us it, yeah. Deck searches. Oh, there you go. It's the search button over there. Yeah. Blue. You can see that it's used in Dual Commander a lot. Even this year. Historic uses it. Pioneer uses it. If you switch to Standard, last time it was in Standard was 2021, but it was used like in any green deck. Has it ever made Modern? No, hasn't been used in Modern much, but I do like that it sees play in Pioneer. That really shows you the difference. Not a lot, but it has seen some play. But yeah, Standard, back in Standard, it was seeing play constantly. So this will see play in, definitely in Standard. I love it. It's great in EDH. It just has a nice body that can do stuff. It's my perfect type of card. This is like almost the definition of a mid-range card, which is what I love playing. 3-drop for a 3/4. Already great. It can hit people. It can block. Do that stuff. And then it's also removal when needed. So, unlike a removal spell that's stuck in your hand if there's nothing to use it on, and unlike a creature that does nothing, this does both. Hence the mid-range. 3-drop, a 4 to remove something isn't the best. A 3 for a 3/4 isn't the best. But together, really good card. Let's hit next. Next is Bloodletter of Ixalan. People were screaming about this card. 1 and 3 black for a 2/4 vampire demon. Flying, if an opponent would lose life during your turn, they lose twice that much life instead. Damage causes life loss. Okay, so this card is bonkers. Number 1, it's going to see play in Standard. Number 2, it's going to see play in Historic, and Pioneer. I could even possibly see it being played in like Rakdos Modern, or possibly even Vintage in or Legacy and Vintage. It's double damage on a creature for 4, and it's life loss, not just damage. Normally, the red cards that, like, when you deal damage, deal double damage, right, is damage. This is life loss, which is insane, okay? Everything about this card screams good. You play in a vampire deck, you play in a demon deck. If you're playing a black deck, you can see this. CDH is where I question if it'll see play. Because though that format's really heavily on just win the game with a combo. But there are a few mid-range decks out there that are looking at just tempoing out and dealing enough damage or making opponents lose enough life. Those are becoming a thing, and Bloodletter of Ixalan is definitely a piece to that puzzle. It's another piece to that opponents lose life. Take any deck that, any partner deck with, the one that does random damage equal to the CMC of the card you cast. The first spell, each turn. On your turn, if you cast a 3, you're going to do 6 damage to them, which is nice. I wish it was at any point, because he doesn't deal damage, he makes them lose a life. But on your turn, it's good. Like, that could help. I could see this going somewhere, and damage is life loss. So even, like, if you were doing that plus Timna, he hits for 2, they're going to take 4. Timna hits for 2, they're going to take 4. Lots of good stuff with this card. I think this is going to see play in a lot of formats. This is definitely a card to try to pull, or just to buy. Next up, Sinuous Binthisar. Sinuous Binthisar is 5 and a white, 5 and a blue for 4/4 dinosaur. Uncommon. When Sinuous Binthisar enters the battlefield, look at the top X cards in your library, where X is the number of caves you control, plus the number of cave cards in your graveyard. Put 2 of those cards in your hand, and the rest in the bottom of your library in a random order. I don't know where caves are going to end up with this. This whole cave theme. If they keep printing more caves, it'll get somewhere. Maybe we'll see caves as a theme in one of the precons, or like a sub theme. I do like caves. I think it's an interesting concept. Maybe because we are getting all those caves in this set, we might see a standard base cave deck if it's good enough. So you look at the top X cards, X the number of caves you control, plus the number of cave cards in your graveyard. Put 2 of those cards in your hand. Random order. This, okay, innocuously, a 6-drop for a 4/4 is not great. A 6-drop for a 4/4 that lets you look at the top 6 cards of your library, and then draw, and then add 2 to your hand, in a standard control cave deck, maybe. That's about all I can see with this. Standard control cave. Or if you really wanted to run some type of cave card, a cave deck in Commander. Rampaging Spiketail. This is a common. I love how it looks. 4 and 2 black for 5/6 dinosaur. When Rampaging Spiketail enters the battlefield, target creature you control gets +2/+0 and gains indestructible to turn. Swamp Cycling 2. Now that's nice. I love these swamps, these land cycles for 2 that grab you something. I really enjoy them. Like a lot. They're better than the draw effects in many ways. So for me, I think you might see this in Pauper. Maybe as a 5/6, because it has cycle, graveyard-based decks will love it. Getting a 5/6 out, and when it enters the battlefield, target creature gets +2. So like even in like weirdly enough in a living death deck in Modern, if you were looking for more ways to win the game, if you have like 4 of these cards in the graveyard and they come on the battlefield, 4 different creatures that have haste can get indestructible and +2, giving you an extra like 8 damage on the board. I could see this making its way there, especially since you can swamp cycle it to grab the swamps you need to make sure you play them, get them out of your way. Yeah, I don't even mind that. I think that's interesting for Living Death decks and Modern, graveyard decks anywhere that are playing Swamp. I could see this in Modern and Standard, just as a, oh, I can cycle it. Let me go grab my Swamp. Oh, I'm in a 4-color deck. Let me go grab my or a 3-color deck. Let me go grab my Swamp. I like this. I like this a lot. Even in EDH, Swamp Cycle, any of these cyclings for lands is just good. Dino Tomotion. Dino Tomoton. Tomaton? Oh, Dino Tomaton. Okay. 3 and a... Little indigestion there. 3 and a red for a 4/3 dinosaur gnome. They're gnomes. Menace. When Dino Tomaton enters the battlefield, target creature you control gains menace until end turn. I don't see this being played many places. Maybe there's, I mean, it's a 4-drop. Saheeli would love you. Part of me sits here and goes, maybe there's a place for it in Pauper, and an aggro deck that drops it, gives something menace, allows it to hit. But that's about all I can see. I maybe not much. It's expensive. Cody Scavenger. Or Cody. Yeah. Coti or Cody. Cody Scavenger. 2 and a green for 3/2 raccoon with just in 4. When it enters the battlefield, if there are 4 or more permanent cards in your graveyard, return target permanent card from your graveyard. Okay. This is just one of those classic return a permanent card to your hand. It's an uncommon. If you need ways to return stuff to your hand, it's not a bad thing. None of them are bad. Adding permanents back to your hand, they're a good way to get stuff back. In a self-mill deck, this can be useful. That's about all I can see. Splunking. This, as a lot of people have talked, is the best uncommon of the set, possibly of the year, or in the last few sets. 2 and a green for an enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card, or it replaces itself. Then you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. Ramps you. Next, if you put a cave onto the battlefield this way, you gain 4 life. Okay, cool. Lands you control into the battlefield untapped. Boom. You just made a huge change. Now your lands are coming in tapped. This is doing its best impression of like several different cards. It's Explore, or I think that's the card Explore, the green sorcery that lets you draw and then play a land. So that does that. Gains you 4 life if you put a cave into the battlefield this way. So in standard cave decks, if that becomes a thing, great. And it makes lands come in untapped, so your caves are coming in untapped all of a sudden, which is great. And even in Modern, like Modern or Pioneer decks that want your lands to come in untapped, this is great. Replaces itself and ramps you at the least. So this could make cave decks possible in other decks, because caves come in tapped so far. This makes them not. I like this card. This card is insane. A Preacher of the Schism. 2 and a green, or 2 and a black for 2/4 Vampire Cleric. Death Touch. When Preacher of the Schism attacks, the player with the most life, or tied for the most life, create a 1/1 black, 1/1 white vampire creature with lifelink. Whenever Preacher of the Schisms attacks while you have the most life, or tied for the most life, you draw a card and lose a life. Oh, this is not a bad card. In almost most formats, I think it's too slow for Modern, but like even in Pioneer, it hits the field as a Death Toucher. It's a 2/4, so you can block and kill something. Any 3x will die, right? Which is good. Then if it attacks your opponent and they have more life than you, you get a 1/1 vampire creature token with lifelink. That's great. If you have more, you just draw a card and lose a life. And Commander, that's great. It's a great card in Commander. Just draw cards or make a 1/1 every single turn. Not the best, But in a vampire deck, I like it. And it's got lifelink on the creatures. So I think this is a pretty decent card. I wouldn't scoff running it. Deep-Root Pilgrimage. 1 and a blue for an enchantment. When one or more non-token merfolks you control become tapped, create a 1/1 blue merfolk creature token with hexproof. I wonder how they're going to word that. When one or more non-token merfolk you control become tapped. If you attack, is that one or more becoming tapped? I would assume so. This is not once per turn. So if you can infinitely tap and untap a merfolk, you can infinitely make 1/1 merfolk creature tokens with hexproof. That's great. That's an infinite outlet for mirror merfolk. If there's merfolk that tap themselves in this set, it'll be great in standard. This will help merfolk decks in Pioneer. And possibly even Modern? If you're swinging with them, or if you have merfolk with tap abilities. This just gives you a merfolk with hexproof. That's not bad. I like it. Definitely good for merfolk commander or merfolk decks. Unstable Glyph Bridge. 3 and 2 white for an artifact. When Unstable Glyph Bridge enters the battlefield, if you cast it, for each player, choose a creature with power 2 or less that player controls, then destroy all creatures except creatures chosen this way. And then craft with artifact, 3 and 2 white. So this and exiling another artifact. It's not bad off the bat. It's a board wipe. But you end up getting Sand Swirl Wonder Glyph. 5/3 with flying. When an opponent casts a spell during their turn, they can't attack you or planeswalk you control this turn. Each opponent who attacked you or planeswalk you control this turn can't cast a spell. Can't cast spells. This is great. This is great, like as a wall for an EDH, but in standard, this is just gonna sit there and go, yeah, cast this for 5, wipe your side of the field. Whatever artifact creature I just killed or artifact is in my graveyard. Next turn, I'm just gonna merge and get this guy, and now I have a 5/3. And if you want to cast a spell, you can't attack me. Even you, well, no, I think if it leaves its state board-based abilities disappear. Possibly, I don't know how that's worded or that's ruled. But anyway, big guys. So like, if they want to cast a creature to get their field back up, can't attack you. If they want to attack me, can't cast a spell. Very good, very big. I think this is going to see play there. I don't know how this craft will do in other formats. It might be a little too slow. Time will only tell. I do like it in Commander, though. I think it's fun. Aclazot's Deepest Betrayal. Ooh, we got a Bat God here, guys. We got a Bat God. The Black God. The Black Bat God. 3 and 2 black for 4/4 Bat God. Batman. It's Batman. Flying lifelink. When Aclazotz attacks each opponent, discards a card. For each opponent who can't, you draw a card. Okay. So, that's force of discard, but it's not your choice, so they'll choose the worst card to discard. And if they can't, because they have no hand, you draw a card. When an opponent discards a land card, create a 1/1 black bat creature token with flying. Okay, so now you're punishing them for discarding lands. If one of them discards a land, you're like, I get a 1/1. And when it dies, return to the battlefield, transform under your control. Transform, Temple of the Dead, activate only if a player has 1 or fewer cards in their hand and only has a sorcery. Okay, and then you get this other art, which is the token, and yeah, I like him. Commander-wise, I mean, 4/4 with flying, lifelink for 5 isn't bad. Like, you're gonna hit someone, you're gonna gain life. I like that. Accident life gain's good. You attack, they must discard. So that's not bad either. And then you punish them for discarding their lands. So if like all 3 discarded a land because they need their other cards. But you're gonna notice this card also fixes one other issue. It fixes that issue of a discard decks where, oh, your opponents don't have cards in their hand, you're not doing anything. It fixed that. That was one of the biggest issues before with commanders that wanted you to discard. Discard a card. You deal 3 damage. Okay, cool, you can't. That's the Titan, not Euro. The other Titan, the red-black Titan, fix that because it's like if they discard a land or can't discard or don't discard a card, they take 3. This one goes, discard a card. If you discard a land, I get a bat. If you can't, I draw a card. So if you just make opponents not have cards, you swing, you draw 3. That's not bad. That's a draw card. Yep. I think that's the point of the deck. Just make them have no cards and then draw 3 and attack. That's a pretty decent draw. We already did that one. Here we go. Sanguine Evangelist. 2 and a white for a 2/1 Vampire Cleric Battlecry. I like Battlecry. It's coming back. It's a fun ability. When it enters the battlefield or dies, create a 1/1 black creature token with land. Okay, so this is 3 for a 2/1 that comes in with the 1/1. When it dies, you get another 1/1. Both great effects, to be fair. And then attacking, it makes the 1/1 you're attacking with 2/1. White weenie decks will like this in standard. Battlecry is good in white weenie decks. Maybe even in Pioneer because it gives you a 1/1 with flying, which isn't bad. Yeah, I don't mind this. I like this as a white weenie card, and that's about it. Kinjal's Dune Runner. 2 and a white for a 1/1 human scout with double strike, and when it's the battlefield, it explores. Okay, so if you can explore and you get a land, that's cool. If you don't, it becomes a 2/2 with double strike, dealing 4 damage if it hits them. Again, white weenies will like this. If I had to choose between one or the other for a 3-drop white weenie, it really depends. This one on one hand is like if you have like 5 creatures on the field already, or like 3 creatures, this is going to give you a 4th and you're going to attack, and that's an extra 4 damage. This one on the other hand, turn 3, either you're going to draw into a land, which is going to help you not draw into the land next turn, play an extra land if you missed a land drop, stuff like that, or it's 4 damage total with double strike, meaning you can hit people easier. I like them both for different reasons. I'm curious about which one will be used more in a white weenie deck in standard at this point. Maybe both. Maybe like a 2 copies of each. I don't know. 3-fold Thunderhawk is a 7-drop for a 0/0 gnome. Artifact creature gnome. Threshold or 3-fold Thunderhawk enters the battlefield with 3/1 counters on it. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, create a number of 1/1 colorless gnome artifact creature tokens equal to its power. Sacrifice another artifact, put a 1/1 counter on Threshold Thunderhawk. I love this. Yeah, sure, it's a 7/7. Okay, so cheat it out. Why not? It enters the battlefield as a 3. And you get 3 gnomes, right? That's not bad. And every time it attacks, you get 3 gnomes. That's not bad. And if you sacrifice one of those gnomes, it becomes a 4/4, giving you a 4th gnome. And if you sacrifice another one of things, it becomes a 5/5, giving you 5 gnomes. I like this, again, in standard, like in a control deck or a ramp deck that can get it out fast, because it comes in not just with 3 power, but with 6 power for 7. And then when you attack with it, there's another 3 power. There's another 3 power. I love this as an ETB card in EDH. Cast it, get 3 gnomes. Cast it, get 3 gnomes. Like, flicker it. 3 gnomes, 3 gnomes. Doing its best. Mirror Battlesphere Impersonation. That one gives you 4 1/1s. This is going to be 3. But also, on attack, you're going to get more. And in a 1/1 counter deck, forget it. Enters with double seasoning. Enters with 6 1/1 counters. Boom, here's my 6 gnomes. Let's swing and get 6 more gnomes. Very strong card. I think this is going to be very good in a lot of places. Well, if a lot of places is standard and EDH. Okay, here's Sovereign Okanek Aha. Ahu? Ahu? I don't know. I don't speak ancient Aztec Mayan words. 2 green, blue, 2 green, white for a 3/4 legendary creature cat noble. Ward 2. Already love this on a legendary. Makes it harder to kill. When it attacks, for each creature you control with power greater than their base power, put a number of 1/1 counters on that creature equal to the difference. This, in my opinion, is an extremely unique effect and deck to build. It is. And what I like about it is the fact that 1/1 counters does it, and it does it a lot. So, like, if you're putting 1/1 counters on all your creatures, and all of a sudden you have something with 5 1/1 counters, when it attacks, each creature with power greater than its base power, so the 1/1 that's now a 6/6 is, put a number of 1/1 counters on that creature equal to the difference. Oh, it was 6. It was 1. It's now 6. That's a difference of 5. Let's put 5 1/1 counters on this guy. Next time, that's a difference of... It has 11, so it's 12. That's a difference of 11. Let's put 11 1/1 counters on them. Any equipment that gives something +3, that's bigger. Giant growth gives something +3, that's bigger. I really like this. I don't know where it'll see play anywhere outside as a commander, but as a commander, I love it. I also love this art. But as a commander, I love this card. I think it's fun. It's interesting. I definitely want to try to... I'm definitely going to build it. I mean, I build every commander. And gotta make those videos here eventually. Just spoiler season, and it's hard to make those videos while working full time. So, I like this. I think it'll see play in other places that can have, like, depending on how easy in each format, how easy it is to get stuff bigger, it could be a way to just pump them as they attack. Which would be like a finisher. 4-drop finisher. You got 3 creatures that are bigger. Boom. Mischievous Pup is 2 and a white for a 3/1 dog with flash, and when it enters the battlefield, return up to one other target permanent you control to its owner's hand. 3-drop flash protects a creature from death. Like if someone goes to kill something, you can flash in Mischievous Pup, return your creature to your hand, and that's going to give you a great win con. Well, not a win con, but a great way to stop your opponent from stopping you, I guess. From killing you thing. Which is good. Not bad. I don't think it's great. Carrying Minecart. 3 for a 3/3 artifact vehicle. When it attacks, create a treasure token. Crew 1. Treasure decks in modern or in EDH. Maybe standard. Get a treasure each turn. There's a goblin in it. Skullcap Snail. Skullcap Snail is 1 and 0 black for a 1/1 fungus snail. When it enters the battlefield, target opponent exiles a card from their hand. This will see play in standard. This will see play in standard. It will. 2-drop, exile a card from your hand. Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Even in, like, yeah, a Flicker deck in EDH would like this. Gold Fury Strider. 4 and a red for a 3/4 golem. Artifact, creature, golem. Trample. Tap 2 untap artifacts and or creatures you control. Target creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. Okay, if you have like a bunch of treasures, you could tap like 10 of the treasures you have, and target creature gets +5/+5 or +5/+0. Nah, it's bad. I don't love it. Too weak. Chromatic Orrery. This is this a... Okay, this is in the whatchamacallit, the extra print thing. Not bad. Extra Chromatic Orrery is a good card. I like it in like 3 or higher colors, so I can draw 3 cards and stuff. Explorer's Cache. 1 and a green for an artifact when it enters the battlefield with 2 or more. It enters the battlefield with 2 1/1 counters on it. Whenever a creature you control with a 1/1 counter on it dies, put a 1/1 counter on Explorer's Cache. Move a 1/1 counter from Explorer's Cache onto target creature, activate only as a sorcery. Yeah, that's not bad. It's slow, because if a creature with 1/1, you only get 1/1 counter. But right away, you're putting a 1/1 counter on something else. So in Hardened Scales decks, I think in Pioneer, I think it's too slow for Modern, but in Pioneer, this is good. In Hardened Scale decks, or 1/1 counter decks, in Commander, I'd run this. I mean, your creature dies with the 1/1 counter on it. At least you can put at least one 1/1 counter somewhere else. That's not bad. I don't think it's great. But with doublers, you get more. I could possibly see this playing standard, depending on how much 1/1 counter shenanigans you're getting around to. Ooh, cool. Matzaltil Matzalantli. Matzalantli? Matzalantli? Matzalanti. Matzalanti? Matzalanti. The Great Door. 3 drop for a legendary artifact. Tap, draw a card, then discard a card. Pay 4, transform it. Activate only if there are 4 more permanent types among cards in your graveyard. Okay, so artifact battle. Yeah, that whole thing. That's not bad. The core. Legendary land. Oh, this is the core. Fathomless Descent. Tap. Add X mana of any one color where X is the number of permanent cards in your graveyard. This is insane. Dude, this card's amazing. I love this. In a Meldrotha deck, forget it. Tap this for 20 or more. Any self-mill deck is going to run this card. This will see play in Standard without a doubt. Without a doubt. We still have, I believe we still have both Innistrad decks or sets in there, so they like self-mill. Heck, this is going to see play in Pioneer, possibly even Modern. The amount of mana you can get off of this is insane. Like, forget about it. This card's amazing. It's one of the best cards in the set. I'm calling it right now. I love this card. And it'll just see normal play in any EDH deck because I mean, at worst, it's just looting you a card each turn. That's not bad. Draw a card, discard a card. Okay, cool. And eventually, you have 4 more permanent types in your graveyard. So the decks that won't run this are decks that aren't running a lot of permanents. But you are. And then boom, if you at least have 4 or more types, this is going to tap for at least 4. But if you got more, like 6, forget, that's amazing. I believe it transforms, so it stays tapped. So you can't use it that turn. But you can use it the next turn. This card's insane. It's totally goated. Sunbird Standard. A 3-drop for an artifact, tap for a mana of the color. Craft with 1 or more. Okay, again, this is them doing that whole 3 for 1 of any color, but does something. And I love that they're doing these because they're becoming more useful. Craft with 1 or more, 5. Exile this artifact, exile 1 or more other permanents. Sunbird Effigy. Dude, I love that. I love that. I love that. Star, bird construct, flying, vigilance, haste. Its power and toughness are each equal to the number of colors among the exiled cards used to craft it. Tap for each color among exiled cards used to craft Sunbird Effigy. Add 1 mana of that color. Okay. So this is 1 or more. But if you just craft, pay 5, and just exile a 5-color card, this is a 5/5 that taps for 5 with flying, vigilance, and haste. Okay, now I'm just too curious. I need to know. Do I have? I don't. Not Starfield. It's Scryfall. It's gonna just pop me to this random page. It always does. But I'm honestly curious here, guys. If we check Standard. Okay, we do have some 5-color cards in Standard right now. I think the Kami War is actually even used in Standard. But yeah, you run one of these. One of our other permanents you control and or cards in your graveyard. Okay, so it has to be permanent. So it's either Invasion of Alara, Joda the Unifier, Niv Mizzet, Supreme, Omnath Lucas of All, or the Kami War. I don't know if any of these actually see play in Standard right now. I think the Kami War might. But if you use them, and then they're in the graveyard, you can just Sunbird it, and then all of a sudden have a 5/5 that can hit the turn it flips. Right? Because you're not tapping it. So it hits the turn it flips, and it taps for 5 mana. One of each. So in your 5-color deck here, all of a sudden, you can cast Niv, or the Joda, or Omnath, or another Kami War if you can pay 1. Or another Invasion of Alara. There's a lot you can do with this. I want to see it be played. This is a goated card, and I also love this in a 5-color deck in EDH. It sounds fun, like in a Joda deck, or in like the 5-color Matters decks. Oh yeah, there's the other Thrashadon, Bringer of the Last Gift, 6 and 2 black for 6/6. With for a vampire 6/6 vampire demon with flying, and when Bringer of the Last Gift enters the battlefield, if you cast it, each player sacrifices all other creatures they control. Then each player okay, I think we went over this one last time. This is living death on a creature, and that's when it enters the battlefield if you cast it. Again, in any living deck, play it. I can see a living death deck be built in Standard running this as the living death card. Mill yourself, and then cast this card for the game. Just got to get to 8 mana. Let's just hold out, get to 8 mana, cast this, flip the fields, right? I could see that possibly being a goal in Standard if someone wants to go that way. Maybe Pioneer, because Pioneer doesn't have Living Death, but you have to cast this. Maybe a self-mill deck that also runs like the Lotus Fields to flip it. That could be to cast it. That'd be fun. I like it. I think it's cool. I think it'll see play in like EDH the most. Tyran's Journal is 1 and a black for a library for a legendary artifact. Sacrifice another artifact or creature. Draw a card. Activate only sorcery. I love that's a 2-drop. Just draws a card each turn. 2 and a black. Discard your hand. Transform it. Ditch in your hand. If you have no cards in hand, who cares? You may cast a creature spell from your graveyard this turn. If you do, it enters the battlefield with a finality counter on it and is a vampire in addition to this other type. That's great. Why is this a? Okay, it's a legendary. Okay, it's at least it's a rare. I mean. It's a rare. That's rare. This card's goated. Any black Standard decks are going like this. I could see it possibly running in like a black-based Pioneer deck that has creatures it can sack. Because you're sacking them to draw a card. So if they have death triggers, maybe. But in EDH, this is a great sack outlet. It draws you a card. And then you just ditch your hand and all you can cast creatures from your graveyard. Sure, they get exiled at the end. Who cares? Like, I'll cast a thing from my graveyard. I like that. Especially for 4 to get to it. Sounds fun. 2 green dinosaur. We don't know the name. Whenever 2 green dinosaur attacks, it is rare. If you don't control another dinosaur, put a stun counter on it. Oh, this is a 3 for a 6/6. This is going to be standard. This is a standard green beater. As long as you can get another dinosaur on the field, like a 1-drop or another 3-drop dinosaur. This is a 6/6 for 3. That's gross. Yep. I love it. It's fun. Dire Fleet Flail. Okay. I like the arts. That's like getting ready, and that's like firing it out of a cannon. Oh, that's a flail there. That's a cannon. I like that. But, it is 1 red. Artifact equipment rare. Equip creature gets +2/+0. Equip 1. Craft with 1 or more artifacts, I guess. 3 red. Okay, so you gotta pay 3 and... Yeah, 3 red. Okay. So it's a 2... Okay. Dire Fleet Cannon. Okay, so it turns into the cannon. Artifact equipped. Equipped creature gets +3/+0. And whenever this creature attacks, you may sacrifice another artifact. When you do, deal damage equal to its power to target creature. Okay. That's a very unique thing. Like, it comes down on turn 1. Turn 2, if you play a creature, or by turn 3, you're equipping it to a creature, so 2/0. But turn 5, you can flip it, sacrifice another artifact, or exile another artifact or creature, artifact from field or graveyard. And then the equipped creature, because it transforms, it doesn't unequip, it looks like, gets +3/+0, and it attacks, you can sacrifice another artifact. I think there's a lot of hoops. So I only really see this being played in, like, EDH. Okay, the 1,000-Year Calendar. Whenever 1 or more permanents become untapped during your entire set, put that amount of time counters on it. 2, and tap it, double the amount of time counters on it. When there are 1,000 more time counters on it, sacrifice it, and each opponent loses 1,000 life. Okay, that's fun. We got a new win con. So when one or more permanents become untapped during your untap step, put that amount of time counters on it. Pay 2 and tap it, double the amount of time counters on it. Simply, if you can infinitely tap this card, you win. Tap and untap. And then, yeah, you just 1,000 or more time counters on it. Sacrifice it, and each opponent loses 1,000 life. Yeah, you'll see EDH decks around this. I don't know if it'll get there in any other format, because that's a lot of counters you gotta get to. I don't even think it'll get there in CEDH unless there's like a commander that can infinitely untap this thing. Then maybe. But definitely in casual, intermediate, you'll see it. Sounds fun. Pincher, Master's Mural. Enters the battlefield, create a 4/4 golem. Artifact creature token, craft with artifact 4 white, white, blue. Tap, create a 4/4 golem artifact. Creature token can only be activated when it or another artifact enters the battlefield this turn. When the card or another artifact. Okay, that's fine. So it comes in with the 4/4. You can pay 7 to flip it for this other artifact that can just start producing more artifacts as long as you play another artifact. So as long as you cast like any artifact or any other artifact comes on the battlefield, you can just keep making more by tapping it. That's not bad. I mean, it's 5 for a 4/4, and then 2 turns later you get to flip it and make another 4/4. I think that crafting exiles and returns, maybe? I'm not sure. I don't know if it's I think it's just a transform. I don't think it exiles. Yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, I think it's interesting. I don't think it's great. I think it's okay. That's about as best I can give it. Citadel or Sunken Citadel. This is a cave. Sunken Citadel enters the battlefield tapped. It enters the battlefield, choose a color, add 1 mana of any color, add 1 mana of the chosen color, add 2 mana of the chosen color. This mana can only be used for activated abilities of a land source. Oh, that could get somewhere. Especially with a cave deck. That's not bad. Yeah, for standard cave or EDH cave. Terror Tide. 2 and 2 black for a sorcery, Fathomless Descent. All creatures get -X, where X is the number of permanent cards in your graveyard. It's a 4 board wipe. And it's -X, so that'll kill indestructible cards. No, not bad. It's pretty simple. Good in many formats. Planny's Hatcher. 3 red, green for a 5/4 dinosaur. Other dinosaurs you control have haste. I like that for dinosaur decks. When it enters the battlefield, create 2/0/1 green dinosaur egg creature tokens. They are dinosaurs, so they can attack. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control 1 or more eggs, sacrifice an egg, then create a 3/3 green dinosaur creature token. Oh, that's fun. So if you're making more eggs, this card hatches them. But either way, you make 0/1s. Then at your beginning of your combat, one of them becomes a 3/3 and has haste. So and other dinosaurs, so it does not have haste, but the other ones can. Interesting. Good in, I mean, it's, how big is it again? It's a 5-drop, so maybe. The next is Poetic Ingenuity. 2 and a red. Whenever 1 or more dinosaurs you control attacks, it's enchantment. Create an equal number of treasure tokens. Oh, when you cast an artifact spell, create a 3/1 red dinosaur creature token. This ability only triggers once each turn. I like this card a lot. So in a dinosaur deck, you're getting a lot of treasures. So if we have enough low to the ground dinosaurs in standard, this is great. Turn 3, you're getting treasures. You're going to be able to break your mold, get bigger stuff in like a Gruul ramp deck. In a interesting standard deck, or an interesting EDH deck, yeah, dinosaurs. And even not in an artifact deck, get a dinosaur. In a token deck, our token artifact deck, cast an artifact spell, gain a dinosaur, double the dinosaurs up, swing, double the treasures up. This is a goated card. I like it. Looks like that's all the new ones. I am going to... I know there's variants, so I got to double check. And definitely a few more popped up, so we'll finish these guys off here. Looks like it just won't let me continue, so we'll finish these up. I'll click on them one at a time. Wandering Throne is a 4/4/4/4 with Ward 2. When it enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. It is the chosen type in addition to the other type. If a triggered ability of another creature of the chosen type could be triggered, triggers a different type. That's great. If your commander has a triggered ability, this allows it to double trigger. So I do that. If you can find a way to double trigger your commander's triggered abilities, that's really good. Hard to come by. Don't even have to tap or anything, and it's got protection. So that's where I see this being played most, and then any other tribal deck. So be wary of seeing that. Daring Destructionist. This is 1 and a white for a 1/4. Don't know what that is. But artifacts that your opponents control into the battlefield tapped. That's a good... Okay, this is another hate bear. XX white. Sacrifice it. Destroy each artifact with mana value X. No, yeah, this is a hate bear. New hate bear. Forcing your opponent's artifacts into the battlefield tapped is great if you get this out like turn 1 in CDH. And then being able to just pop all the artifacts with mana value X by sacking it is also great. Like, oh, they have a bunch of, like, if someone goes to kill it, you can just go, I'm just going to blow up all the 0 drops by paying a white. Or I'm going to pop up all the 1 drops, 2 drops. For 2 drops, unfortunately, is 2, 4, 5. That's a lot to hold open. But if you hold 3 open, you hit the 1 drops. So, that's not bad. Hermit Nautilus. Vigilance. Oh, this is 1 in a blue for a 1/4 Nautilus with Vigilance. It's not actually a Nautilus. I just don't know. Yeah. 1 in a blue Hermit Nautilus gets +3, -3 until end of turn. It's weak. Oh, look, it's a 4/1. I don't care. I don't want to run it ever. Underworld Blood Hunter. When it enters the battlefield, each player sacrifices 2 creatures. Oh, this is just the double sized up of the 3 ones for 3. This is 6 for a 6/6. Hey, everyone, sacrifice 2. It's okay. I don't love it. Campogan. Oh, sorry. Staunch Crewmate. When 1 in a blue for a 2/1. It's a pirate something. When Staunch Crewmate enters the battlefield, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You reveal an artifact or pirate card from among them, put it in hand, put the rest in the bottom of the library in a random order. For 2, I like that. In a lot of decks. If you're running Artifact Ramp, this hits the field. Oh, look at the top 4 cards of the library. Oh, look, it's an artifact. Add that to my hand. And it's a 2/1. If you're running a pirate deck, even better. Standard will like this, and if we can get pirates enough to make pirates a thing in other formats, possibly. Even, like, weirdly enough, like, Vintage and Legacy might like it to draw cards. Viper Spirinema. 2 and a black for a 2/3 Serpent. Or a 2/3 Snake. Black, tap, sacrifice it. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a Fanatical Cannon on it, activate a sorcery. Okay, so this is one of those pay 3, the following turn you can get a creature out. They're not bad in any deck that wants revival. It's a 2/3, doesn't have Death Touch. So in any deck that wants to cheat cards out from the graveyard, this card's great. It's completely fine. Ignore the fact that it comes in tapped, it's fine. Stalactite Stalker. 1 black for a 1/1 Goblin Rogue with Menace. At the beginning of your end step, if you descended this turn, put a 1/1 counter on it. Okay, so as long as a card, permanent I think it's a permanent goes in your graveyard. Cool. 2 and a black, sacrifice it. Target creature gets -X until its number X is power. Okay. So you have a way to use it to kill something, and it can get big in a self-mill deck. So any self-mill deck will like this card. I'd run it there for any format. Here's the Wedding Ring. I love the art here. I guess they're going to be printing it more often. We just got it in the Doctor Who set. I really like how this looks. The wedding ring's fine in Commander. That's about all that plays it. Colossal Hammer. Colossus Hammer. Oh, this is a... Oh, no, this is a reprint. Okay, yeah, this is another reprint. I love the look of this one. This is just Hammer time. Used in Pioneer and Modern. Whisper Silk Cloak. Another really cool reprint here. Loving the art here. Really blending in. Here's another print. Pint of Offering is another cave. When it enters the battle for tap. When it enters the battle, exile 3 target cards from graveyards. Tap, add a color. Tap, add 1 mana of any color among the exiled cards. Oh, colorless. Okay, so you exile 3 target cards from graveyards. That's not bad. Again, I mean, taps with the right colors possibly. It's good in Modern, or in a cave deck. Here we go. Here's an interesting one. Captain Tempest. Okay. Captain Tempest is 2, a green, blue and a red for a 2/2. Pirate Human, legendary Pirate Human. When an artifact enters the battlefield of neutral, put a 1/1 counter, or put a 1/1 counter on target pirate you control. Okay, I like this for pirate decks. This works with treasures. If you drop 10 treasures, there's 10 token 1/1 counters on whatever things. This will be built 2 ways. Either it'll just be played in pirate decks. I really like its hand though. Oh no, it's not a hand. It's the axe. I like its axe. It looked like a hand there. I like both arts. But yeah, basically you'll either see it built as a pirate deck or built as just an artifact deck, which is how I'd build it. Flood the field with artifacts, get it big, and hit someone. Amala Benavides Aguria. However you pronounce that. Black, 1 white and a black for a 2/2. Ward, pay 3 life. Not the best ward, but still something. When you gain life, explore. It explores. Then, destroy all other creatures if Amala's power is exactly 20. Oh yeah, because you get to explore. Oh, I think this is one of the most unique ones we got. It's a fun explore deck, and it's a fun thing to do with life gain. And you want small life gain. Gain 1 life, gain 1 life, gain 1 life. Each time you're exploring, you land in the hand, land into the hand, land into the hand. Oh, cool. You can start pumping. Once it gets to 20, boom. And if you just find a land, you can do it again. Kind of fun. I think this is unique and interesting. Like the art too. Get Lost. Get Lost is an instant. Love that. Look at that. 1 and a white. Instant. Destroy target creature, enchantment, or planeswalker. Its controller creates 2 map tokens. Sick board removal spell. Creature, enchantment, or planeswalker for 2. Yeah, he gets 2 map tokens. They get an adventure choice. Who's going to care about that? This card will see play in every format. Hitting creatures, enchantments, and planeswalkers is insane. The art's insane. This card's insane. Goated. Such a good card. You go Get Lost. Confounded Riddle. 2 and a blue for an instant. Choose 1. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. Put 1 of them in your hand and the rest in your graveyard. Or counter target spell unless its controller plays 4. I like that. 3 to counter a spell sucks. But 3 to be able to look at the top 4 cards of your library could also be useful. So holding your mana open, 3 mana open to go, do they need something? No? Okay, let's look at the top top 4 and add 1 to my hand. Bedrock Tortoise. It's a turtle. 3 and a green for a 0/6 turtle. It's a rare. As long as it's your turn, creatures you control have hexproof. Cool, I like that. Kill my stuff on your turn. Sorcery speed, please. Each creature you control with toughness greater than its power assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. This is great for any toughness-based deck. I love this for Defenders and Standard because Defenders and Standard is a very fun deck. This really gives them a way to push hard if they can turn sideways and swing. Gives your stuff hexproof so they cannot interact with you on your turn, which is great. And yeah, again, any defense deck will like it. Ooh, Legendary Artifact Vehicle. Cannot run this as your commander because it's not a... Sorry, I don't... it turns into a creature, so it should be. I am personally in the camp that any legendary thing should be able to be your commander, including artifacts, enchantments, vehicles, planeswalkers. That's where I've always been. I'll make a conversation about that. But the Bill of Grant is 2 green, 2 blue, red for 5/5 vehicle. When it attacks, create a treasure token. Until end of turn, you may look at the top card of your library anytime, and you may play lands and cast spells from the top of your library. Crew 3. That'd be such a cool commander. Can't be my commander. But I like it. It's interesting. Vehicle decks will like it. For Crew 3, that's a lot you get. So you get an attack, you get a treasure, and then you can cast spells from the top of your library. And play lands. So you can probably try to go somewhere. I don't know if it'll see play anywhere else. It's a lot of work around to get it to do anything. That being said, that is all the cards there. I know. Oh, that's I know there are more in. That's the variants in the commanders. No, there is no more in the commanders. And I don't think they showed any more. Because this also, I believe, had all the Jurassic Park stuff in it. I'm just scrolling down to make sure. Oh no, does this not have Jurassic Park stuff in it? No, I don't see it. Commander variants art. No. Yeah. I might make another video here and release it. I will be making more videos. So I will see you guys next time. Peace.